forgetting. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for being here. So this is our week 15. Today is Monday, May 8th. I'm very happy to see you. This is our last week for our leadership in intercultural global environments. Just a very quick summary. Our first academic period was for leadership. The second one was mostly about management, but this one we're finishing only with cross-culturality, intercultural theories. And this is the last class in which I'm going to be talking about cross-culturality. Next Wednesday will be ethical issues for international and cross-cultural environments. And as I already mentioned, if you're not able to come to class next Wednesday, it's okay. Just watch the class. I'm going to upload it Wednesday night. So you can watch it maybe on Thursday, Friday, and you have until Saturday to upload your notes. So don't worry, you're going to be fine. Okay. So we have already finished week 12, 13, 14, 15. We are on week 16. And this is, again, the last week. Keep calm because it's almost over. I put this image for you guys because I know you are so busy and you're panicking and you're stressed and you want to go on vacation already and you're sick and tired of classes and you don't want to hear about classes anymore. But bear with me. We only have 2 more weeks and this is our last week of classes. Okay, so I know you're working on your videos. I know you're going to be doing a wonderful job. I'm not worried about that at all, but I still think there are many things you can learn this week. And I invite you to give yourself the chance to learn so many important things today and on Wednesday. So our topic today is going to be cross-cultural global management. And for next Wednesday will be the ethics and the future. I think I'm going to leave the future of global leadership for next Wednesday after Michelle and Rose's presentation. And I think, Rose Kelly, you're also presenting on Wednesday. I'm not sure if it's going to be live or it's going to be recorded. But if it's going to be live on Wednesday after your presentation and Michelle's and Ross, I will finish with by presenting the future of global leadership, okay, the latest trends, because this is changing, this is evolving, and I hope you're part of the changes, okay? Also, as a reminder, remember Monday, next Monday, this class is going to be a synchronous class, which means from Monday, from Sunday night until Tuesday, okay, you can watch the videos from all these are the videos, guys, just for you to remember. If you can take a screenshot, please make sure to take a screenshot because this will be the teams that you will be evaluating next Monday in our asynchronous class, okay? We have team 1, Mariana Chavez and Camila. Team 2, Josh and Mariana, who are going to be doing a podcast. Team 4, Livia and Carla. Then we have team 5, Christopher and Diana. We have team 6, Sophie and Ross. And those are the recordings, okay, that I will have ready for you Sunday night on our YouTube channel. I'm going to share the links on our e-virtual Moodle platform so you can have access to the videos, or you can just go to my YouTube channel, watch the videos. And the objective will be, of course, for you to write feedback, like what did you learn about it? What did you like about it? Can you link the information that our classmates shared in their videos with some of the information that we learned this semester? So it's just like a wrap up, okay? Very good. So this is for Monday, remember? Now, as I already mentioned, Monday, asynchronous peer evaluation. Yay, the semester is almost over. You see, I'm thinking about you guys. And when I'm planning my classes, I'm always thinking of how to help you, how to help you be motivated for these last few days. I know you're very tired. Come on, guys, we can do this. So you're going to watch the 5 presentations. You're going to write either a brief page essay, okay, or you can do it on Moodle, or you can upload your Word document. It doesn't matter. And you're going to talk about what you like about each video and what topic of the semester reminds you of. Very good. I will see you again this Wednesday. And if you're not coming this Wednesday because it's Mother's Day, it's okay. As I already said, you are excused as long as you watch the video for Wednesday's class and you include that in your class notes for this week. This week, we're having class notes, okay? This week, we are having class notes for me to evaluate your participation. Got it? But it's okay if you're going to go have dinner with your mom, go have dinner with your mom. But I'll be here. Don't worry. My mom is in heaven, remember? So my mom is with me every day. Me And this is my mom. So she's with me every day, and her birthday was yesterday. So there you go. If you have your mom with you, go have dinner with your mom. Enjoy your mom. Very good. And on Wednesday, next week, we have live presentations. Hannah, Michelle, and sorry, Ross and Michelle. I think it's Ross and Michelle. I don't know why I wrote Hannah. It's supposed to be Ross. My apologies. And Rose Kelly. Very good. So let's begin with today's topic. But before we begin, yes, Hannah, I'll go with you in a minute, and I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to take attendance, and then I'll come back with you. Yes, Hannah, go ahead.
Sorry, but it's correct. We are together, me with Michelle.
I thought I had made a mistake. So sorry. So you're going to do it live next Wednesday, right? Very good. Okay, let me take attendance then. Give me a minute. Attendance. Very good. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay, attendance. And make sure to take notes today because I'm going to add class notes for the week. Okay, and you have until Saturday night to upload your notes. Okay, Rose Majed, I think she told me she was not feeling very well, so probably she's not going to be here. I don't know if you can speak up because remember I cannot see you.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, Rose, you're here. Oh my God, but you're feeling so sick. I'm so sorry. Don't talk. Don't talk. Don't speak. I know this is not going to make you feel any better, but Mr. Jenkins is so sick. He didn't go to work. Well, he went to work last Friday, but he had to go home because he had a fever. Again, a horrible, horrible cold. And because my Mr. Jenkins is a huge teddy bear, the only way he gets better is by sleeping 12 hours like a bear. He needs to sleep for 12 hours, and that's the only way he gets better. I know, he's like a huge teddy bear. I know. But now he's better. Now he's finally back in at school. So that's good. Thank you. And I'm so glad, Ross. I hope you're doing all right. If you don't feel very well participating, at least just pay attention. Don't worry. Okay, Ross, you're here. And then Mariana Chavez, I think I saw you. Am I right,
I'm
Marianita?
here.
Very good. Thank you. Livia.
I'm here.
Thank you so much. Josh.
I'm here.
Josh, you're here. Very good. Rose Kelly, I saw you. Cami, I haven't seen Cami. Is she around?
Yes, teacher, I'm here.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, everybody's here. I'm going to cry. Very good. Marianita Pulido.
Present.
Yes, Hannah is here. Michelle, I saw you connect. Sophie, I don't know if Sophie's here.
Here.
Thank you. Thank you. Carla Trejo, I saw you connecting. Yes,
Here.
yes. Christopher, you just connected. I saw you. Oh my God, everyone is here. So, as we say in Mexico, it's time for me to give such a wonderful class because all my students are here. Very good. So, let's begin. Cross-cultural management, guys. Take notes, remember keywords, and if you can speak, please make sure to raise your hand because we're going to finish today with this topic. First of all, cross-cultural management is one part of administration. As we realized, and we have been reading in several articles that I have been sharing, etc., the globalization that we are living in right now has taken us to a point in which now cross-cultural management it's actually part of managers in most of these multicultural international global companies. Okay, so cross-cultural management again is an interdisciplinary field in which actually we connect communication, we connect anthropology, learning about the culture and how cultures behave, but also management theories, how to help teams work well or work better. But to tell you the truth, most of the managerial theories are the same management theories that we talked about in the past, which is the planning and the organization, the coordination of activities, monitoring, controlling, and then recycle again, assessment, evaluation, and go back. That doesn't change. What changes is how we're going to make these things work and how we can, this is the key word, guys, adapt. How are we going to help our teams adapt? But also, all this training that you all have now, what if you start working with a team that They don't know about this. You will realize they will start making mistakes. They will start having problems communicating and working together. But sometimes it's because we assume that all people, because they are in international companies, they should know. They don't. So my objective for you in today's class, students, is also for you to take notes, because this is something I think you can actually talk about with your managers, with your supervisors, with your bosses. I think Ross and some people have already mentioned that also Christopher, I think some of your managers have a very open mind and a very good leadership, global leadership mindset. So why don't you suggest also, maybe, you know what, I took this class on international intercultural communication for global environment. Maybe you can give me some time to share some of this information with the rest of the team. Imagine, I think that's going to make everyone understand each other better. So again, the main task of this discipline is to solve issues and communication, and of course, make team management more effective. And now you can see the skills. Do you see the skills there? Understanding, developing, communicating, and working together. I think if you were able to talk about this with your teams before you start talking, like when you're setting your expectations, this is so important. This is so important. We must have the intention to understand each other, but also we will develop how to be aware of our differences, how to be aware of maybe in your case, you're too direct and I take it personally, but it's not personal. Maybe that's the way you communicate. And I promise, if you bring these cross-cultural management skills into your everyday work, you're going to help your teams, you're going to help your team, your company, your organization, etc. Communication, you know that too. Based on the needs and competencies of the team, every team is different. Just like for me, every class is different. And finally, finding ways to work together. And today we're going to watch one video in which actually you're going to listen to a person describing a German person working with a Chinese manager and avoiding a conflict because he knew how to deal with the proper communication. And I think this is a very good example of cross-cultural management. Okay, very good. So let's move on. And here, I'm going to give you a few seconds, minutes, 1 minute. Read and take notes of keywords of objective and tasks. And write down in the chat words or phrases that you find the most interesting. While you're reading and thinking, guys, thank you. I also want you to think of this from the cultures within cultures topic that we have talked about so many times, remember? It's not necessarily international borders. We have talked, you said it, Hannah, you said it, Ross, you said it, Ross Kelly, Livia, and we in Mexico. Just moving to another city, everything is different. How we communicate is different, right? So these tasks of these major tasks of cross-cultural management are not for countries or international organizations only, but also for organizations that have people from different areas of our country working together. Can you imagine if we worked on this? Now I'm going to read your comments from the chat. Let's see what we have. Improving productivity, very good, Ross, thank you. Developing cultural sensitivity, discipline, communication, develop, adaptation, good. Solving communication, removing barriers, improving cultural environment, adaptation, removing barriers, very good, thank you. Now, please make sure in your notes, these tasks My suggestion for you, I want you to take something with you that you can apply, that not something that is like in a book and, well, yeah, it was interesting, but that's it. What do you think, or how do you think you could use some of these tasks in the places maybe you're working right now at, in the places where you're doing maybe your internship, maybe in the places where you're teaching classes? How do you think you can help people working together understand some of these topics? I want to hear some ideas, and there are no bad or wrong ideas, okay? But maybe some of these tasks can help you think, maybe if I share this with my team, that might help. Let me give you my example. Remember, I'm starting classes this week at Vancouver Community College. That's one example. And the other example I have is working in my final class with people from India. There's another classmate from Peru, from Latin America, and me, and that's it. The other 5 are from India, Valerie from Peru, and me. My example is with my students, because I have students from many different parts of the world, and they have to learn to work together, and they have problems working together in teams. Maybe I can help them first understand that we communicate in different ways. But if we focus all in our objective for the team project, let's try to put aside those differences, but be empathic. I think that's something I can do with my students. And with my classmates from my team, I think what I'm doing right now, first I talked to Valerie, the one from Latin America, because we're very direct. We're very direct, and we want things happen. And she was a director too in Peru. I was a director too. So we are very efficient oriented. And our friends from India, they are not so efficient oriented. 1 or 2 of them are, but the other ones are not. So first I agree with Valerie, and then for example, Valerie asked me last weekend, oh, you haven't given the new member of the team a task. And I said, well, but we're a team. Why don't I make a suggestion in the group chat that my suggestion is this, the new member is not there yet, and let's see what the rest of the team has to say. And my friend Valerie, no, you tell him what he has to do. I said, if I tell him what to do, he's not going to do it, or he's going to have a negative attitude towards it. Why don't we just agree as a team? So my job is to balance the different ways how people work, right? To make sure that I only focus on efficiency. So let's see some of your example, guys. Do you think you could help your teams with some of these ideas? I want to hear 1 or 2 examples, guys. I know you're thinking. That's okay. Think. Now, where it says, for example, improving the culturalization of foreign environments, as I told you, it doesn't have to be foreign. What if you're working in Morelia and in your company or organization, the person who just arrived comes from Cancun? I think you said that, right, Christopher, that your manager is from Cancun. I don't know. Or if you are doing your internship somewhere else, try to think of real examples and ideas. What example can you share? Come on, guys. I know you're thinking. I can see your thinking faces. If you don't have think about the example, don't worry. I'll give you more ideas, and then we'll go back and I'll ask you to share more examples. Okay, very good. But I know you're thinking. Keep thinking. Okay. Now, I see you, my students, as cross-cultural managers. That's why I'm asking you these questions. Regardless of your position, remember we saw in academic period 1, leadership, it's not because you have a title. You can be a leader with the attitude, with the right attitude, correct? So for me, you are all already cross-cultural leaders and cross-cultural managers, regardless of whatever position you have been officially addressed. So organizations need cross-cultural competent experts to solve some of these tasks. And again, don't think only about international context. Think about national culture within culture context, because that's what we are facing already. Expanding the company to new markets, investing in company premises, facilities, going to other locations, of course, planning for international marketing strategies. In my case, I would even say, for example, we have talked about Tesla. It's going to open a macro factory in Monterrey, okay? What do you think, or where do you think people working for this mega factory are coming from? Are they all coming from Monterrey? Of course not. Not only they're coming from all parts of Mexico, but they're coming from all parts of the world. If they are not thinking about hiring managers, supervisors, and directors, not only with the qualifications and certifications, but with the right cross-cultural leadership and managerial attitude, they will not be successful. And Livia, you talked about one example that failed because this didn't happen, right? So please, I want you to understand how important it is for corporations nowadays, and we're already talking about the trends. This will be a necessity in the next 10 years. You will not be hired, or let me change it and make it in a positive sentence. You are more likely to be hired because you have this knowledge, this cross-cultural managerial leadership knowledge. Got it? Now, let's move on. I'm still gonna go to ask you, okay, what you think. I'm going to please ask Livia, can you read this example?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. So the most important skill I need in order to develop and launch this project line successfully is to exploit what I've got from one part to other parts of the world, which brings something innovative in the market. I am able to do this because I have references in different languages, English, Hindi, right? And French. I read books in three different languages, meet people from different countries, eat food from different countries, and so on. I cannot think things in one way only. That's not my way.
This was said by an Indian American French project manager, and I took this from Force magazine. You can read the whole case, it's in the references, okay? So what this person is talking about, the fact that we're speaking English, we're speaking a second language, but many of you also, my suggestion will be start learning, if you haven't, a third, a fourth, a fifth language. That changes your vision, your perspective, and provides you with a better, wider, multicultural vision and perspective. Because when we learn how to speak a language, we also learn about their culture. I haven't, because right now I'm in my master's, but I'm about to finish my master's, so I hope I can go back to my French classes. But I have to learn French from the Quebec, Montreal area, which is very different from the French area. And it's a different world. Even we're in the same country and both languages are the official languages. Everybody tells me when I go to Quebec, it's like a different world. And it's like France in Canada, which I'm really interested in finding out about. But I also know I am limited right now because I may have 2 master's degrees, and even if I start my PhD, if I don't have that intercultural, multicultural experience of learning how to deal with the French part of Canada, I don't think I'm going to be a complete leader in understanding how to work with people in Canada, people from any area of Canada. I don't know if this is making sense, guys. Yes? Okay. So far, so good. What do you think of this example? This is also related, Christopher. Remember to what you were saying, something that you would like to do. So right now, write down in your notes also. I know some of you are about to graduate. Some of you are already thinking about what you're going to be doing. But even if you start working or start looking for jobs, never stop learning about languages and cultures. She in the Forbes article, he said, I can read in English, in Hindi, and French. That's just 3 different cultures. Imagine. So my suggestion for you, keep also an open mind to keep learning about cultures, because this is a real example of this cross-cultural management skill that will be necessary in all of you. This is another example we have, okay? Observing multiculturals. Multiculturals is you, all right? Multicultural leaders and managers in action. This is what an executive at L'Oreal mentioned. Multiculturals have a kind of gymnastic intellectual training to think as if they were French, American, or Chinese, and all together inside them. And as you can see from L'Oreal, you can see trends, for example, in 8 countries. CoverGirl is Canada, Costa Rica, Republican Dominican, etc., etc. But L'Oreal, it's Brazil, Argentina, Colombia. I know, interesting. And in Africa, it's Fenty Beauty. That's the name of the brand. In Ethiopia, Kenya, Nigeria. And if we go to Australia, it's Elizabeth Arden and CoverGirl, along with New Zealand. Whereas in East Asia, India, Iran, Turkey, it's L'Oreal too. So I ask you, I know you have understood the cultural dimensions. Forget about that. Let's put everything together. I want to know what you're thinking now while reading at these examples. Where are you taking notes at? I can see your faces thinking. I want to know what you're thinking, guys. Come on, share with me. Why are you so serious? Yes, go ahead, Michelle.
Well, talking about this, it might be a silly example, but when I'm looking at Fenty, uh, it's actually like probably the most inclusive makeup brand right now. Like, I don't know if you guys ever seen like their campaigns or their makeup line, but they're like the brand on the market that has like the darkest shades available, like for darker shades, so like really really dark skin tones. And even the models that do like the campaigns, it maybe doesn't have a lot to do with like a specific culture, but they use a lot of like different body types, like plus size models or thinner models. They use like transsexual models, transgender, queer models. So they do it all, and I think that's really cool because, yeah, as Sophia put in the chat, they even have a larger market reach, because since like this generation is like so preoccupied by those sort of things, like the fact that we see that they care, I think it makes more people want to consume their brand. So I think it like also worked out not only culturally but like as a marketing plan for them. So it has to do with management.
Actually, what you just mentioned, yes, is the marketing part, but this goes beyond marketing, exactly, because I know what you're saying. Of course, it's very interesting. And of course, showing that we have a multicultural mindset also comes along with showing empathy and respect for different people and different kinds of thinking. But here, what I would like you also to think about is this term, multiculturals have a gymnastic intellectual training. Of course, it's not real literal gymnastic, but it's how your brain, how your mind, how you're thinking is used to now thinking in different cultures and adapting to different ways. Let me give you a strategy right now. Write this down, and a strategy that is going to help you. When you see something in your work that you immediately don't like, that you immediately think like, ugh, we'll sometimes see that, right? Like, ugh, something, whatever, from a client, from another team member, from a customer, from a supplier, something happens, right? And we always go like, ugh, whatever. force yourself to stop. Be aware. Like, okay, stop. I'm telling you this because I'm trying to practice this myself as well. Stop. Stop thinking, stop judging. Stop saying, oh, they're going to make the same mistake again. Because that's the first thing we think about, right? Or, oh, again, they're going to blame me. Or we think in a negative way. My strategy for you is stop and for a second think and force yourself. What is the positive items, the positive parts of all the situation that took or led my boss to make this decision? What was the positive part that you have to force it to make it positive? Force your mind to think. There's gotta be a positive result, outcome, characteristic in this decision. I cannot see it. Evidently, I cannot see it because my first impression was, ugh, right? Something wrong, something bad, somebody's complaining, something. No, what there has to be something positive in the way this person made that decision. Now, the thing is, I don't see that. Evidently, I don't see it because maybe I don't have all the information. Maybe my position doesn't allow me to see all the information, but force yourself to think in a positive way. Why did he make that decision? Why did she make that decision? Are you thinking right now? Try to think about an example of something horrible that happened, even with your parents, when they said, no, something. Oh, the first thing you go like, oh, stop, force yourself. What is the positive part that evidently I'm not going to see? I don't see that, but there's going to be a positive reason for my mom, for my dad, for my boss, for them to make this decision. Force yourself, honestly. And that is intellectual gymnastic. Is this making sense, guys? It's totally, completely changing the way we normally think. But you have to do it very consciously at the beginning because our first reaction is negative. Is this making sense, guys? Yes? Okay, try it. I promise it does work. I promise it does work. Very good. Okay. Now, this is a good example about a good multicultural, cross-cultural manager. This is a real person. This is Carlos Ghosn, and I'm going to read so you can understand. The paragon means like the best example of a successful multicultural executive. And I want you to pay attention to this because this means, guys, that any of you in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years can reach this level of positions because you already have this international, multicultural, intercultural mindset. I'm going to read it. He reflects his own experience, and he was talking here in Prague in October 2012. Because he says to succeed as a CEO of Nissan, okay, was the combination of being Lebanese from a multicultural country he described as a crossword of warring armies and conflicting religions, but also he was from Brazil, a country he described as a peaceful example of integrated multiculturalism, but he became a French engineer. He studied his engineering in France. So you see those three cultures? And he thinks that these three visions and perspective he had, those were the secrets to his success. Now, most CEOs, most of the modern CEOs that you will see achieving these positions in the next 10, 20 years, this is the trend, guys. Those CEOs that I have told you in the past, remember that I told you in the 90s, all those very, there's no place for them anymore in this new world. That's why I insist, guys, keep learning more about cultures and about other languages because that's going to give you what you need. Now, remember when we talk about the dimensions, different ways of seeing time, space, etc. Well, if you want to take some notes, these are the main factors that affect cross-cultural communication, either in a negative or in a positive way. Interpretation of time. My friends in Mexico, can you explain ahorita to our friends in Brazil and Iraq, please? What does ahorita mean? How do you explain it? Go
Means
first.
right now, or later, or in a week, or in a year, or
Okay, I'll go with Michelle a minute. So Diana, I'm going to repeat what you said. Listen to this, my friends in Iraq and Brazil. Ahorita literally means right now. Literally, literal. Ahorita means, okay. But in real life, just like Diana said, ahorita can mean right now, can be tomorrow, can be tonight, can be next week, can be next month, or can be never. Correct? Yes? Am I kind of right? Okay. What is the interpretation of time then, and how is this changing? Can you understand that part too? And again, I said Mexico in general, but there are parts in which in Mexico City, I've told you this before, Mexico City, they're more strict with time, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that everyone is like that. Now, what about interpretation of space? In some areas, for some people, I've told you this before, right? You're at the OXXO, which is like a 7-Eleven for my students in Brazil and Iraq, and you're in line, and some people are exactly like next to you, but it's like, oh, in my case, I get very uncomfortable. I need my personal space. But interpretation of space is different. It's like the gesturing thing. Remember that I told you before, the nonverbal communication. For some people, my gesturing can be aggressive. So I need to know. So do you see how something that we give for granted can solve or create problems? Now, these are factors, real factors that usually affect, okay? We don't even know. Yes, Josh, that's the ahorita, right? We don't even know what's going to happen. I know. Now, this is what I wanted to take attention to, right? Training. Somebody wanted to share. Yes, go ahead. I cannot see who. No? I can hear somebody's microphone. Nope. Okay. Let's move on then. Okay. Oh, sorry. Training. I'm going to give you 1 minute to read training, and you're going to tell me, how do you think this training people in cross-cultural management or in cross-cultural empathy could help in your work, in your organization, or any, maybe one of your former jobs? Okay, I'm going to be quiet now. I'm going to let you read and think and take notes. These are the results we get when we share cultural training or cross-cultural training with the people working with us. For example, Christopher, you work at Costco, and I know most of the people are from Morelia, but you told me, I remember, your manager is from somewhere else. Do you think, because you have told us this before, Christopher, your manager, I believe, is a very good leader. You told us this is a good leader. The previous one was not very good, right? It is obvious that your manager understands the differences, the cultural differences, because arriving in Morelia without any previous experience and being successful, that means that he kind of understands that people may be different. I think you told us he came from Cancun. Is that what you said, Christopher? Okay. But in Cancun, as you can imagine, because it's a very multicultural city, is the perfect place to learn those multicultural strategies. Or also, Sophie, you worked in Cabo. I remember you said you did some of your, I can remember your internship, or you worked, Sophie? Yes, am I right? In a hotel in Cabo? Yes. Again, Cabo is a very multicultural, cross-cultural environment. So either if you take this training in a formal way or you do it in a multicultural environment, it's very important that this training, you can see these three results. You can see a difference in the attitude of people when you teach them about different cultures. Their attitude is going to be more empathic, more open, not so close-minded, right? That's the first effect. The second one, knowledge, because now they understand that if a person tells them, no, I don't agree with you, it's not personal. In his culture or in her culture, that's the way they express themselves, and they're not being hurtful or they're not being rude. But also the behavior of the people you work with is going to change. I actually suggest delivering all this training and all this information that we have been talking about for all this semester with every team you work with, because we all come from different cultures, different beliefs, and different values, right? So imagine if you could achieve this. Do you agree with this, guys? Give me a thumbs up if you think an attitude, knowledge, behavior, those are results that you will see. Or is there anything else you would like to add? Vamos bien? Are we going okay? We doing all right? Very good. Okay. And before we go to the break, I still need to hear from you guys. I know you're very quiet, but I know your mind, you're thinking, okay? How to improve cross-cultural performance. And again, this is a follow-up of the previous training slide. So how do we improve emotional skills? By helping the people around us be aware of different cultures. Also let them know that we can adjust the way we express ourselves, the way we communicate, the way we, and also how's your emotional skill going to be addressed or improved? Because you're going to stress less, honestly, when you understand it's not personal. People don't hate you. People are not, Christopher, that's because, no, that's just the way this person talks and it's not personal. But in Mexico, I'm going to say this in Spanish and I'm going to translate in a minute. In Mexico, we are jarritos de tlaquepaque. I'm going to translate this in a minute. What does this mean, guys, in Mexico? Somos como jarritos de tlaquepaque. Con cualquier cosa se ofenden. What does that mean?
That maybe we are so sensible for the comments that maybe the people have from us.
Correct. Yes, we're so sensitive, very sensible, actually. Haven't heard of Camila. Yes, I'm going to say the expression again and I'm going to translate it in a minute. It's very colloquial. It means somos como jarritos de tlaquepaque, which means a jarrito de tlaquepaque, it's a pot or like a vase, like a glass, I don't know, like a craft made glass, but it's so thin. The material of what it's made is so thin and so easy to break, exactly, that if you're not careful with this jarrito, it breaks with everything. That's how we Mexicans are. If you sometimes tell us something and we take it literally, oh my God, we're going to feel offended. You were talking to us in a very bad way, or you were very aggressive. Oh no, right? Yes or no, my students in Mexico. And then yes, I know. And then we started drama, but then that's how we get stressed. Because we don't understand. I know. Oye, Capula, that's another one too. And it's very similar, Sophie. It's the same. What it means is that we're very sensitive. But also, wait a minute for my students in Iraq and Brazil. That means that we're very sensitive, but at the same time, when we joke with our friends, we are very, very llevados, which means oh my God, we go over the board very, very aggressive with people we really are friends with. We sometimes hit them like, right? Am I right? We hit our friends like, now, come on, stop joking. In other cultures, I see this hitting we do between friends, like, why are you hitting your friend? And for us, that's normal. Again, these little things are so ridiculous, but they can make a huge difference. So again, how can this improve the performance in your team? Knowing what is expected, demonstrating self-knowledge, knowledge of their culture, and finally, as we already said, is going to help you maintain a good relationship with the people that surround you, and you're going to be successful in every communication that you want to get. So to finish this topic before we go to our break, and when we come back from the break, we're only going to watch a few videos, very short videos. I just want to finish this topic by saying, cross-cultural training and the improvement of cross-cultural performance is not only about international boundaries. Please keep thinking about the culture within culture, guys. Is this making sense, guys? Yes? Okay. Yes? Very good. Okay, so let's take our 10-minute break. And when we come back, we're going to watch these videos with real examples. And our class is going to be over, hopefully, in about half an hour, 40 minutes at the most. Okay? See you in 10 minutes. Bye. Mentioned, we're going to be watching two very brief videos, okay? One has to do with cross-cultural management, and it's a very quick review again. And the challenges, those are things that we know, okay? But pay attention to the strategies. And again, as I keep telling you today, I would like you to think about real life situations, real life examples in which you believe that you can already bring some of this knowledge that you all have now into your real organizations, your teams, sometimes even at home, you know, you never know. So let me stop sharing so I can write the link in the chat. Now this is, if I remember well, about 3 minutes. Okay, it's not so long. So I'm going to share this in the chat. If you can please open your tab. There you go. And I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to give you time to watch it. Okay. And I'll see you here in 3 minutes again. Okay. Thank you. Okay, guys, so as you watched, as I already mentioned, the challenges are things that we already know. We have already been talking about it. However, what I wanted you to pay attention to was the strategies that they suggest in the video, which are adaptation, structural intervention, sorry, managerial intervention, and of course, the exit of people. Now, this question I have for you, again, I keep thinking of you as managers, and I keep thinking of you as leaders already, okay? So my question for you, and again, I know many of you were already thinking about some ideas before. I would really like you to think and to share with me, what do you think are some ideas about what can you bring to the table with the teams you are currently working with in order for you maybe to help people become more cross-cultural aware? I don't know. Okay, because we have to do this with a very respectful attitude, right? And again, it's not only about international. Think about the cultures within cultures. I'm going to ask first Rose Kelly. Rose Kelly, all this information that we have been learning, we have been talking about, do you think if you had known, also this is another idea that you can all share, students, if you had known all this situation, do you think you could have prevented some conflict that maybe you had in the past because you didn't have this knowledge about how to adapt to different ways of thinking? So let's hear from Ross. Ross Kelly, any idea you want to share? Go ahead, please, Ross.
I don't know how to explain now, but for sure, we could avoid them if we had more empathy and if we think about the other person firstly. In the past, I believe we could have done things different if we tried to place in the other people. I had a very difficult team to manage, and they didn't think about the other. Can you hear me? I don't know if the sound is okay. And now at the university as a student, I am trying to join the group. I have a group of students that we usually make the tasks together, and we are very different from each other. And there is a person that is so creative. I have another that's so organized. So everyone is different. And every time we have a new task to do, I try to organize, to join everyone, to have a meeting and delegate the tasks. So let's do in this way. You can do that. You can do this way. And then we have a very good job together because I recognize that we are different and everyone has quality and we try to do together. So I am now using at university as a student the qualities of a leader that I didn't have the opportunity to do when I was a professional.
And thank you so much for sharing, Rose Kelly. And it has to do a lot with something we talked about, I think, in the past when we talk about leadership. It's about letting off control. It's about not understanding, and it's personal. Remember, we talk about ego. You need to
Yes,
put your
yes,
ego aside because we
yes,
were taught that if we control things and things happen exactly as we planned it, then everything is going to be okay. However, that's not the way intercultural, now global teams work. We have to let go of control and accept that what I thought was going to be the perfect way to do it may not be necessarily the only way to do things. There may be ways to do things, but it's a personal battle with letting go of control. And
yes,
congratulations, Rose Kelly, if you're learning that, because it's very difficult. To tell you the truth, it's not easy. It's
yes.
not.
And
I
a
know.
friend of mine told me a few days ago that she really appreciates working with me because every time we have a meeting, I usually say, "Oh, we did this, we have this idea, we," and the other colleagues don't say we. They said I think this. I had that idea, and I am the only one who always say we. And it's something that now is natural for me, but in the past it was not natural.
Because you're becoming a better leader
Yes.
today. So I'm very proud of you, Rose Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Anyone else would like to share maybe another example of either how you can use this in a real situation, or maybe something that maybe in the past you didn't use and maybe it didn't work out so well, but now that you know, now you're thinking maybe I should have thought this way and maybe things will have been better. Any other examples, guys, that you can also share about things that you're already implementing maybe? And I have to go to Diana, because Diana, you have been my student for almost a year. I can tell there's a huge growth and difference, but I would like you to share with us, how do you think all this knowledge, this class, this awareness class, because it's more than an academic class, it's an awareness class, how it has helped you in real life?
Actually, I was going to open the mic. In last class, I shared my experience working with peers from Argentina and also Brazil. And now I notice like all the things that we did wrong, because there wasn't a leader. We were a team, but we didn't meet halfway. Even if the work was awesome and our teachers, we got congratulated by our teachers. Um, the process of making the project was a total mess. And we were like so stressed out, and we didn't got to communicate well, because our Argentina peers were, since we got assigned the project, they were already like working on it. And my partner from UNLA from Mexico, and I did the work at last minute. So we were very stressed out. And with all these theories and tips, maybe now I'm able to communicate and to say, okay, this is like the way that we work. And don't worry, we're going to do the things. And yeah, maybe now I'm able to communicate better.
And also, I have to go back and say this, and I hope everybody's writing this down. Meet halfway. Let's meet halfway. Because if there's that willingness, like, yeah, this is how we usually do it, but I also understand. And let me give you another suggestion, Diana. You said something we did wrong. Try to change the word wrong for we didn't do it appropriately in the moment. Appropriate, inappropriate, it's more like there's no wrong or right because you didn't know better. And perhaps I know, I know. Now you probably realize what would have been more appropriate, it had been, this is how we usually work. How about you guys? Help us understand what are your expectations before we start working? What are your expectations? And then once we listen to everyone's expectations, now let's meet something in the middle. Let's find something in the middle. Yes, yes, I know. Thank you. So it's just a suggestion. Try to, instead of saying what I did wrong, what I didn't do appropriately. Because yes, it's not about, because in your vision, you didn't do anything wrong. In your vision, it's okay, because as you said, you delivered, right? So yes, maybe it's just that. Very good. Thank you. Yes, Michelle, maybe now you have better tools. Anyone else would like to share one more before we go to our last video? One more. If anyone else could share also how you think maybe now that you have all these tools, you could have done things differently, or maybe this situation, you said something, Diana, you said we were very stressed. Yes. And honestly, once you start being a little bit more empathic, I think, yes, relationship is better. Good for you, Michelle. I don't want to get personal. Of course, I don't want you to tell us over your personal romantic relationship, but I'm so glad that it's getting better. It's getting better because now I imagine you understand better where many of the things are coming from, right? And also next time I go to England, I'm going to be last week of June. If you follow me on Facebook, by the way, you're welcome to follow me. I never post any, nothing. It's my personal account, but you're welcome to follow me, or also on Instagram, but it's a private. I made it private because I was getting too many weirdos invitations and comments and horrible things. So I made it private, but you can send me a request and I'll be very happy to welcome you. So you can follow my trip to England, because remember, I'm going to present my research. I also know, even if I know these theories, every time I teach these theories to my students, I become aware of new things. Just like you, Diana. Many of the things we talk about this semester were kind of similar to last semester, but everything was different because your vision was different, your perspective was different. So I also know when I go to England, I think I'm going to understand Mr. Jenkins' brother better, because he has a very weird sense of humor that I don't understand. And sometimes I think he's being too aggressive, but I know he's not being aggressive. It's just the way he is. But now I think I'm not going to feel afraid, because I'm usually afraid of talking to him because I don't understand his sense of humor. But I'm not going to be afraid anymore. I think I'm going to be a better girlfriend this time when we come. And I'm glad Michelle, this is helping me. Okay, anyone else? One more? Let's watch then the next video. And for this video, it's only 4 minutes, but I really want you to pay attention. And Christopher, you're going to like this example too, because remember that lady? You told me, I want to be like that lady with all this experience. This is a very good example, but from another perspective. And this is from a manager. I want you to pay attention to this example that she talks about. It's a wonderful example. It's only 4.5 minutes. And when we come back, we're going to talk about, what do you think a normal manager would have done? Okay, so here's the link. Everybody go. I'm going to mute myself and let's talk again in 5 minutes. Okay, bye. Okay, guys, everyone, be back because now I want to hear from you. Yes, that's all right. Don't worry. Thank you. So what do you think about this video? I know it's real. This is real life. And this is not something that is just like, this is real life. Well, you get back. I would like to hear your opinion about managing conflict. Conflict is inevitable. The direct or indirect way to handle conflict. How to deal with confrontation, not taking it personal, as she said, remember? Okay, what lesson or what was important? I'm going to share with you, and I hope you kind of agree. Even when she says, if you come from East Asia to West, and be ready, because people are going to tell you things directly, don't take it personal. Most Mexican managers who do not have a lot of international experience have this problem when they start working with the US or with Western oriented cultures, etc., because they believe they are being blamed. They take it personal. Remember the jarrito de tlaquepaque thing situation that I was telling you? However, most managers who have had the chance to work with people from different cultures and different countries have a more open attitude, not reacting, but trying to understand what people are really trying to say. I don't know if this is making sense. What do you think about this video? Now let's hear who has sent. Christopher, what can you share? I knew you were going to like it. And Carlita, you've been very quiet too. What do you guys think? Christopher, Carla, who else do I have? The Marianitas have been very quiet too. Let's share the last one and then we can go. Come on, guys. Christopher or Marianita or Carlita, what do you think about the video? You're not.
Okay.
Go ahead.
For me, I think she has like a lot of she's really right because the differences between like with West and East around the world makes a lot of a different experience in point of view between American people or Chinese people that have like those knowledge in the work or like the finger and all that stuff that the woman said in the video. I think it's very related to what to think when you start in a different enterprise, in an international enterprise, as you say. And I think here in Mexico we could be better, like in that approach, that knowledge in the international experience between people around the world and all that. So this is something that we can like get better in our generation.
I totally agree with you, Christopher. And something I love about your generation, trust me, I'm not one of the Gen X's complaining about new generations. I love new generations because I know you have the power and the enthusiasm and the vision that we didn't have in the past. Because trust me, we were learning to speak up for the first time. Our parents didn't speak. They would just follow orders, and we were the first ones like, wait a minute, I don't really have to follow your order 100%, but okay, I'll follow it at the 50%. But still, it's not easy. But you guys, I think something that I really like about the I know something I really like about the videos, she talks about empathy, comprehension, respect, and understanding. And I also believe because you were born already, new generations were born in a global world, you are more respectful, I would like to say, or I would like to understand. So I think also these are things you can understand. Very good. Thank you, Christopher. I knew you were going to like this video. Very good. And finally, either Carlita or one of the Marianitas, what would you like to say about the video? Last participation so we can go home. Come on, guys. Mariana Chavez or Mariana Pulido or Carla. Who do I have around? Are you around, guys? Or Josh? I don't know who's there. Cannot see you anymore. Hello?
Me,
No?
teacher.
Yes, go ahead.
I agree with the video because I think that one of the most important skills of working in teams or in an organization, in the school, whatever, it's the communication. Because without the communication, you're not going to be able to work and to express all like correctly. So, well, I see this in my actual work in the office. Sometimes we don't have communication, and it's really awful because we we get things, important things that are wrong, and sometimes I don't know how to say it in English, but nos echamos la culpa como de uno en otro.
We blame each other.
Yes, when all we are like responsible of that.
Do you agree? And I'm so sorry you have to see this, Mariana, but sometimes let me give you some good news. All these experiences that I share with you is because I also experience horrible work environments. And that's how you learn sometimes, unfortunately, because now you know this is what I don't want. When I go to another organization, when I go to another company, I will make sure I bring a different vision, a more open perspective, a more respectful attitude towards talking, etc. Now, in this case, Mariana, I'm so sorry you have to go through this, because if everybody's making mistakes and everybody's blaming each other, I honestly, I don't know. I don't want to assume, but I think there's no leadership. When you have a good leader, and it's not about a boss, remember, it's not about the position. It's not about who's the manager, who's the supervisor, who's the coordinator. It's about a leader. If there's no good leader, usually this happens. But also, let's not blame the leaders or the lack of leaders, because most of these managers, they didn't have the training we have. We're just very blessed and very fortunate to have the opportunity to learn about these new theories, to learn about all these things. And I think, Livia, a common goal for a team, yes, of course, I understand. But also, do you guys understand that not all bosses, coordinators, supervisors, they don't even know sometimes where to start? I wish we could also be more understanding that not all people have the tools that we have sometimes. And it is really sad, because a lot of people get demotivated. Instead of you, Marianita, for example, you can see this and you can say, oh, I would do things differently, because now you're learning about how to do things differently. But unfortunately, most people are going to be demotivated, discouraged, hate to go to work. And of course, sometimes I have to tell you, we have to experience those negative situations to also value what's in there in the future. So I know all of you, and I'm starting to already say goodbye, because next week is the last week I'm going to see you. I'm already missing you, but I am already so proud of all of you, And I want to cry, because about 2 or 3 weeks ago, like a month ago, Melissa Mohammedayan, she was my student about 2 or 3 years, no, like 8 years ago, I think, a very long time ago. And she graduated a long time ago. And then she was my student in high school. And then again here in the bachelor degree. And now she's in her master's. And I think she's traveling now to Europe, and she's going to represent Michoacan in some economic something. And she sent me a message saying, teacher, sometimes I want to cry, because just like you said, this is a lonely road, because sometimes not all the people understand what. And you told us that I was going to get lonely. And I said, Melissa, I'm so sorry, but if you want to talk, let's talk. But I also understand, she says, not a lot of people understand sometimes my vision and my perspective. And I understand that is the price sometimes I have to pay to also help others grow. And I said, yes, sometimes it is going to be a lonely road. So whatever you go through in the future, I know you are already making a difference. And each one of you, and now I'm going to cry, but don't take it personal. I don't have children, because the way for me to transcend in this world is through my students. You know why? Because all of you are going to make a difference. Just by doing the right thing, you're going to set the example to those people around you, and with you, the workers you collaborate with, in the future with your children, with your families, with your grandchildren. Everything you do will be a little piece of what you learned in this class. And that's how I transcend in this world, through you guys. So I'm already so proud of all of you, because I know you're going to create, you're going to make a difference. Wherever you go, whatever life takes you, you will make a difference. I know that. I am certain of that. And I'm already so proud of you. So I'm sorry. Sometimes I get emotional at the end, but it's the truth. Okay. It is the truth. And whenever you want to talk to me, you send me a message. We can Zoom. We can talk on the phone. You're not alone. Even if I'm not your teacher anymore, you will never be alone. I will always be here. Okay. Thank you very much. It's been a beautiful class. I love you all too. And I'll see you next Wednesday. If you can make it to class, come to class. If not, go have dinner with your mom. And for the rest of you guys, we'll meet here next Wednesday, and we will finish with the ethical part of intercultural global leadership and management. Thank you so much. I love you too, and see you next Wednesday. Mwah! Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Guys.
teacher. Bye bye.